So, after all the hype about how Manchester City was going to destroy us at the Etihad, it all just didn't happen.
He should have killed me when he had the chance, because now I'm back and I'm going to kill you and your whole fucking team. You and them bitch tits.
The bookies said Real Madrid had an 18% chance of qualifying to the next round when we drew Manchester City. 18% chance. Real Madrid, us, the team that has won the Champions League 14 times, the same team that's leading La Liga right now comfortably, the team that has overcome the odds year in, year out and defied all the critics, and the same team that built a dynasty who has won the Champions League 3 times in a row, 4 out of 5. That feat looks even more incredible today after a prime Manchester City was defeated yesterday. Pep Guardiola said after the first leg at the Bernabeu that the crowd would help Manchester City score 1 goal and it was their responsibility to score the second goal. I mean, look at the smirk on his face. He was so confident that they were going to win this game. Well, just hold up, little man.
I think that you are little man.
We're Real Madrid. You think we're going to just bend the knee? So many players played spectacularly yesterday. Players like Valverde, Carvajal, Nacho, who I have to apologize to. I thought he was going to be a liability. He was spectacular. Apparently, when he was leaving the Etihad, they had to search his pockets to make sure he wasn't taking Erling Haaland back to Spain with him. But yesterday's game made me think of 2 things. Number 1, when we played Liverpool in the Champions League 2 years ago, where Jude Bellingham was Zinedine Zidane's guest that night in Paris. He said it was that game that convinced him to sign for Real Madrid. And it wasn't because of our intricate player or any of the players on the pitch like Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, Karim Benzema, Vinicius Jr., but he said it was the mentality. It was our ability to get there and get the win. And what is clear about Real Madrid's philosophy and their recruitment strategy is they go for players that have a certain mentality about them. It's not just about talent. You have to be mentally very strong to be a Real Madrid player. And that was on full display yesterday. And the second thing is, when we played Chelsea 2 years ago at the Bernabeu, when we won in extra time, Rudiger was a free agent in that summer. And during that time, he was actually negotiating with Barcelona. He had flown over to Barcelona and was negotiating with them. At that time, he was supposed to sign for them. But after that game, Florentino Perez decided that he wanted to sign Antonio Rudiger. And that's when the negotiations were advanced. And it's very clear how we won the game yesterday, that it was Florentino Perez's recruitment strategy that helped us get over the finish line. It is the mentality of these players. Players like Nacho, who are maybe not the best or the most talented, they're so mentally strong and they're committed to the badge and they're willing to fight to the last second of the game. And the other thing is how Florentino Perez stuck with Carlo Ancelotti after last season's defeat. Many people would have sacked Ancelotti after losing 4-0 in the Champions League. Florentino Perez himself probably would have fired Ancelotti many years ago after a defeat like that. But he stuck with the Italian, and yesterday it paid off. So we have to give credit to Florentino Perez for having the patience to stick with Carlo Ancelotti. Many people in the fan base were calling for Xabi Alonso, were calling for Zinedine Zidane, were calling for Raul and different managers, but he stuck with Carlo. This game was a clash of footballing philosophies. No team had won at the Etihad for 30 games. And City were boasting about how they were undefeated in 24 games when Rodri had started. But like Carlo said before the game, records are there to be broken. What was clear about this game is we were much stronger than last year. Both physically, technically, mentally. We learned from our mistakes. We tracked runners. We pressured the ball outside of our box. We covered the half space. There are just so many positives to take away from this game. But the thing that I have to reiterate is the harmony that Carlo Ancelotti has created in this squad. Last season, Aurélien Tchouameni was criticized when he went to an NBA game in Paris while he was suspended, and he wasn't watching the Copa del Rey game that we were playing. But yesterday, he flew out to Madrid with the squad, and he was with everybody cheering on Real Madrid as they were playing against City. And that's the kind of environment that Carlo Ancelotti fosters. And you see players like Lucas Vazquez, who come onto the field and is giving the pep talk ahead of the penalty shootout. A player that's telling everyone, even after Modric misses his penalty, to stay focused and not to lose hope and to keep fighting. A guy who's juggling the ball before he takes his penalty. It's people like that you need in your team to win Champions Leagues. Not because he's the most talented player in the world, because of people like him that create certain environments in your franchise, in your club, in your business, in your community. It's those kinds of people that you need around you. when you're going to war. Huge shout out to Dani Carvajal yesterday for an amazing performance. I mean, I think that has to go down as one of the greatest ever right back performances in the history of the Champions League. He was immense. He was incredible. What Dani Carvajal did yesterday, he needs such a big... I'm at a loss of words what to say about how well Dani Carvajal performed yesterday against Jack Grealish. And Federico Valverde showed us yesterday why he should and will be the captain of Real Madrid one day. I really believe that the Champions League is now ours to lose, and we have one hand on the trophy. Bayern Munich is nowhere near as strong as Manchester City. They're just not. And I just want to say that the leadership that we also saw from Antonio Rudiger yesterday, saying before the tie that the battle with him and Erling Haaland was personal, and volunteering to take that 5th penalty and stepping up and scoring it. That is the kind of person that Florentino Perez wanted to sign that night after that game at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid is the greatest football club in the world. There's no question about that. And we don't have to break 115 FFP violations to get ahead. We have the greatest heritage. We have the best culture at our football club. We're the greatest footballing institution in the world, and that's not changing anytime soon. So you should have gone for 116 FFP violations because it wasn't enough. I'll be making a video about the preview ahead of the El Clasico this weekend and a full analysis of how we defeated Manchester City. So make sure you like and subscribe and enjoy this victory. Hala Madrid.